guys, and welcome to another episode of Art Side of Life. I'm Eva, and in today's episode we will talk again with Nina Vakueva, and this is the second part of the interview, and she specializes in character design and comic books, and we will talk about the traditional media and different recommendations, what you can try to use to improve your process or just try something new. You can see some of her awesome artworks here, and if you haven't seen the first part of the interview, you can just head over there and see how she got where she is now in her artistic career. And before we get to the interview, I would like to thank AstroPad for sponsoring this video, because with AstroPad you can use your iPad Pro as a wireless graphics tablet for your Mac, and I especially enjoyed with using Photoshop or Illustrator because I have a lot of predefined brushes in Photoshop already. So if I do these color and light studies of the environment and storytelling, I can use different brushes like a tree brush, leaf brush, or grass, or basically anything for the nature is very useful to have a variety there. So if you want to try it by yourself, you can just head over to artsideoflife.com/astropad, because guys over at AstroPad gave us 10% discount for the studio licenses, and you can use it now with the promo code ARTSIDE. So let's go now to the interview part and hope you will enjoy it. So welcome guys to the second part of the interview with Nina. So hope you are excited, and if you haven't seen the first part, you can just go there as well and then continue here. Or if you are just interested in this part, we are talking about art style and processes and some projects what Nina is working on. So hello.
Hi again.
Hi, and let's start with the art style, or maybe the art tools what you're using now, because we discussed the how you got to comics in the first part, and maybe you can tell us a bit more like how you get to watercolor art, or are you working with the comics digitally or traditionally?
I work with the comics digitally because for me it's much faster. But I do love doing traditional art. For example, I'm doing ink wash commissions, and it definitely came from architectural background because we were working a lot with ink during first years in university. And after some time, I realized I really miss this technique. And I started to get back to it and realized that with the same technique that we used for architecture, I can draw characters and like anything. So right now I'm incorporating this technique a lot in my art.
So that was the ink, but also the watercolors, because a lot of your sketches when you travel, it's watercolor. So why did you choose this medium?
Because it's very portable. Like you can just have this small set and carry it in your pocket or in your bag. And with these brushes, where you also have a small water reservoir, you don't need a lot of stuff to carry with you. It's just this small box and one brush, and it's very comfortable to use it anywhere.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, because those are... Do you have like a favorite brand? What do you use, or it doesn't matter?
Yeah, I have a favorite brand. It's Russian watercolors called White Nights or St. Petersburg. They're really nice, and they're way cheaper than brands from abroad. For example, I was in Great Britain, like right now. I just came back home, and I ran out of blue color in my watercolor set. So I went to the art store. I was just passing by and I was like, oh yeah, an art store. I can get another blue watercolor. And this tiny watercolor box, like just blue color, it costed as much as my whole watercolor set. It was...
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy.
So you use those watercolors which are in the tube, or more like the ones in, I don't know, what is it called, containers?
Yeah, it's like small boxes filled with watercolors.
Ah, cool, awesome. Then we can put a link for people to check out this brand, because I haven't used it yet either. I have those British ones. But I don't use watercolors that much yet, so I want to get to it more. Do you have like, recommendations for someone starting out maybe with watercolors? Like what is maybe the essentials you always take with you? You know, maybe do you always have just the basic colors or do you have some pre-mixed colors as well? And maybe how do you do the observation of the nature to simplify, you know, some maybe few tips?
Um, I have one tip how to simplify when you look for colors in nature. For me, it's very easy, and it's very easy for anyone who wears glasses. I just take my glasses off. Like everything's blurry and I can't see anything, just the big shapes.
That's a really good tip because it's like when you just half close your eyes if you don't have glasses, for example, and then you see just like blurred out areas. So, okay.
Yeah. So I can get this effect just just when taking my glasses off.
So to focus on the big shapes, yeah.
Yeah. So as for colors that I always bring with myself, I just got this very small set, and I didn't choose them. I just use the colors that come with the small set. I know that a lot of artists get these beautiful bigger sets with a huge variation of colors, and I can't use those because I get so distracted by all the choices. I just look at them and I don't know what color to use. It's just too much for me. I feel much more productive when I have smaller
like selection.
yeah, smaller and fewer tools, so I don't get distracted by choosing what to use. I just focus on my art.
Yeah, and so which are maybe the biggest steps in your art process? You know, so you have a few tools, then you observe the big shapes. And do you do like sketch first, or do you right away go to values, or how does your process look like?
First, I started with line work. I think like previously, before the comic job, when I was doing art, I was focusing on colors more. At least I was trying. But during all the comics jobs I had, like all the line work I had to do, it really, like, I got so used to it that line work is is the main thing in my art right now. So I usually start with a sketch. I don't use pencils. I just go straight with a ballpoint pen. A lot of people ask me, like, what pens do I use so they don't blur when I use watercolors. And it's just any ballpoint pen.
Okay.
They don't blur. It's like, can be the cheapest one you get in the nearest store. That's what I use.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I always think like, they will just smear or smudge from the watercolor. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, they don't just like any like ballpoint pen. And then I just go straight to watercolors. And also, if you start with watercolors, you need to spend some time on site. Like you need to draw from real life. And if you do the sketch first, I feel like if I don't have enough time to finish something, if I gotta go, if I have limited time, I can take a photo and add colors later.
Yeah.
Because if you draw from the photo reference, of course, the colors will be different, but also the proportions and all the composition will be different because your eyes don't see like camera does.
Yeah.
And for me, maintaining the right proportions is more like it's more important for me than colors right now. So I prefer to do the sketch first and mess with colors later.
Yeah, because I do that as well when I do the sketch, and if I don't have time, I take a picture, and if I see some colors which is not on the picture, I actually write the note like, oh, this stone or whatever looks more brownish, bluish, you know,
right.
then it's on the, so I can like think about it later because then everything is just dark areas are darker, light areas are lighter, and then you don't see the nuances of color. So yeah, that's I like that approach as well. And do you have some special sketchbook or special paper like mixed media or watercolor paper or something like that?
Yeah, I was trying a lot of sketchbooks, and I think I found that one that I always use right now. It's a Strathmore sketchbook, mixed media. It's not very grainy like paper for watercolors because I don't really like a very textured paper. I like more smooth one, and like I do all my ink washes on very smooth paper. And Strathmore is a very nice combination of both. It's textured, but not much. And you know how a lot of watercolor papers, they, like, if you put watercolors, they fade when they, like, with time.
Yeah,
When you put them on, it's bright, but then it's fading and everything becomes very light and grayish. So on Strathmore paper, they still pretty bright.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah, because I think I was looking at that sketchbook as well. I think I actually got it, but I haven't used it yet. So, yeah, I think when I was traveling last time. But anyway, yeah, so I will try that out too. Hopefully everyone listening or watching, well, maybe you can guys write in the comments what is your experience with, watercolor paper or Strathmore sketchbook or whatever you use. And I would like to know also about your maybe projects you are working on or maybe your personal projects, and what would you like to do, like in the future, kind of like many comic books or more sketchbooks like you do from traveling?
As for traveling, I really want to continue doing travel sketchbooks because it's very different from what I do for a job, and I feel like I'm resting mentally while doing them, and also like when you are traveling, and I love traveling, it's the biggest pleasure in my life. Like when you snap a photo of something you liked, like architecture, something natural, no matter what, you miss a lot of details. Even if you think that you looked at this very precisely and like you noticed all the details, it's not like that. You really learn about the object when you draw in it, and you notice in so much that you wouldn't notice otherwise.
Yeah. And you also remember the place better, right?
Yes, it's completely different from when you're looking at your photos. When you look at the art you made on that spot, you remember so many things, like what the weather was like, what was you surrounded by, like people around you, atmosphere.
Yeah. And you can maybe even write notes like, oh, I smell, I don't know, grass after rain or something, you know?
Yeah, it's really nice to also make some notes. At first I was doing sketches just like without anything, but after some time I realized that I don't remember even the year when it was made. So right now I always make sure to write down the year, month, where was it, like the country, the town, the place.
Ah, cool. So hope to see more of your sketchbooks in the future. So if you guys are interested, you are already selling 2 sketchbooks on Gumroad, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and you guys can check it out. And my last questions would be One question would be, what would you like to be remembered in 100 years or more?
Oh, okay. So I think it's connected to the previous question and to my personal project because I have this web comic that's right now on hold, but I'm going to get back to it pretty soon. I think like in September. It was a story that I came up with in school, and after university, I decided that I can actually draw it and show it to people, and it would be so nice. So right now I'm working on it. There are like almost 2 chapters out there in the internet right now, and we want to print books with the company that's helping me with this. It's Highworks, and they help a lot of webcomic artists. So we want to make a Kickstarter for books and make them real. So I'm really excited for this project. And when I'm done with my daily job that I have right now, I really want to try and focus on this project as my main income and try to do it as my main job.
Oh, that's super cool. So people can, check out your stories also later in the future, so they can be inspired, and that's really cool. Yeah, so looking forward to see that for sure. And thank you so much again for being here. It was really nice.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for all the tips and the story and other insights or how to call the awesome tips. And thanks guys for watching or listening, and see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Cool.